Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov is happening this Saturday at UFC Fight Night in Saudi Arabia. Ikram is stepping up in as a last replacement for Khamzat Chimaev, who's too sick to compete. And I've heard that Khamzat has a bad immune system and is even considering early retirement, which I hope isn't true. And man, poor Khamzat, he hasn't been the same since he got COVID. He went from fighting 4 times in 3 months to struggling to make fights regularly. I really hope he gets better, man. With all that being said, his replacement for this fight, like I said earlier, is Ikram. He is a dangerous opponent, and a lot of people underestimate him, but he got some serious skills, dude. Ikram is dangerous, man. He's shown to be a solid all-round fighter with a crazy amount of power and great wrestling. Ikram is on a 7-fight win streak, and 6 of those victories are finishes. He has had a total of 3 fights in the UFC, and all those fights were first-round finishes, which is extremely impressive. But to be fair, those guys he beat weren't anything special. They were pretty much cans. But I will say that Ikram's power is kind of scary in this matchup with Robert Whittaker, and I'm not gonna lie, Robert's chin has shown some vulnerability, and we've seen him get folded against aggressive powerhouses before, like Dricus, and I'm not gonna lie, that worries me about Robert winning this fight. Ikram is very aggressive, and one bad exchange could potentially see Robert Whittaker get knocked out. And when you look back at Whittaker's career, he's only fought 1 brute middleweight like Dricus. Ikram is very close when it comes to that style of Dricus, I ain't gonna lie. And I mean, if you go back to some of Robert Whittaker's fights, you would notice that Robert has only fought that type of style once. I mean, Paulo is a point fighter with no power, Vittori is trash and has no finishing ability at all, Izzy's a kickboxer, Kelvin Gastelum's another mid-fighter, Cannonier's a good striker, Darren Till's a kickboxer. I just think Robert Whittaker might just be in trouble in this fight. And Ikram has some serious size and power. I mean, that 1-2 he landed on Phil Haas was devastating, and the way he took out Elvis was impressive. Even though those performances sound amazing, they're not on the same level as Robert. But it just shows you the power that Ikram has, man. But that's not a big enough reason for me to pick Ikram, because my pick is Robert Whittaker to win this fight. Robert is more technical and crafty with a lot of experience. He has a better understanding of distance when it comes to striking, and I believe he's going to demonstrate that there are levels to this. However, if Robert were fighting Khamzat, it would have been a tougher challenge than facing Ikram. Essentially, this fight is a step down in competition for Robert Whittaker. I say this because Khamzat had that killer welterweight speed and insane pressure and amazing grappling, and I would argue that he would have been too much for Whittaker, but Ikram isn't known for having this insane speed or offensive grappling that Khamzat has. He doesn't have the best submission games or takedown accuracy. The only real danger that Whittaker is facing in this fight is Ikram's power on the feet, not his grappling, because I feel like Robert is going to stop majority, if not all, of Ikram's takedown attempts, making it a stand-up fight. Because I truly believe that Whittaker's speed, his movement, and his offbeat timing is going to be too much, especially the beautiful way he's able to blitz in with that speed, and I can see him landing that 1-2 in this fight. All that is just going to be too much for Ikram, and I believe Ikram's power can be the difference maker in this fight if he catches Robert, man. But I'm gonna put all my chips to Robert, man. Overall, I feel like Whittaker should win this. He has all the experience, he's the better striker, but Ikram has a good jab, and you never know, Ikram could potentially win by an upset. That's why this fight is gonna be very competitive, man. I just know it. And this is gonna be a high risk, low reward type of fight for Whittaker, man. Even if Robert wins, people won't give Robert that much credit, and the fans will probably be like, he beat an overhyped Dagestanian, a wish version of Khamzat. But if he loses, the fans will say that Robert Whittaker is washed. So Robert has a lot of pressure in this fight, man. With all that being said, I think Robert will have some trouble in the first round. Maybe he'll get stunned. But I feel like once we get to the second round, I feel like Whittaker will get his timing down, and we're going to see a Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum type of performance. But I do feel like Robert will eventually get caught here and there, but it won't put him away, and Robert will ultimately win by unanimous decision. But do you guys agree with me or not? And who do you guys think is going to win this Saturday? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.